What's good? It's your boy Czar, All Rights Reserved. I read and I seen different things about the YG beef, so I'm gonna just go into it. Part of my issue with this beef that I'm watching, we just seen him link up with Game, and he has Game's beef. Now YG's clique is in NY saying F Tekashi walking around this block. This isn't good. In my opinion, the blood games have just begun. From him going to the West and making that trip with his alleged CEO, Treyway, now it's become something else, as people that are part of clicked up with the Game on the West Coast in this blood thing, they're making it a West-East thing, the same way Tupac and Biggie were. I don't know if that's the intention, but the easiest way was to make it gang-related. Now, think about it. There was no gang relation between Biggie and Tupac. It was all about drama and words. Well, this includes gangs, so now the violence is almost assured. If you know anything about gangs, when you go on other gangs' turf and you're showing their street sign, you're showing where you're at, it's only leading to violence. It's only leading to conflict. Now, are they still in NY? I don't know, but they just now disrespected Tekashi's gangster, so he's either gonna have to answer, or he's gonna stay stuck making the money, and then if he tries to go to the West, it's going to be violence. He has to either A, address the situation, B, make peace with the situation, or C, he needs to take it all the way and protect his family, protect his name now, because as a gangster and saying you're outside all day and having them videos with them 60 people, and he rode up to your spot 6-7 deep and there was no one outside, that makes me a little curious too. I'm not really getting where your power is coming from. It makes it seem like all the things I heard were true as far as paying for protection or getting guys in to have your back when you know that you can't take it alone, but you're speaking like you could do this. YG addressing it in the first place now creates an aura that, if you remember, I told you when Game said he's the king OG blood or something of that sort, that he marked himself as the boss fight. Well, now we have like a video game. There's levels to this boss fight. He now has to take on YG and YG's homie before he can even take a shot at the game, because these dudes are showing up to where he lives, where he stays. So now it's somewhere else. And that's the danger when you're sitting there talking blood this, blood that, and guys don't think you're actually repping what you're talking about. They're going to test your gangster. Now his gangsters just got tested a few times, and looking at how it ended up, he failed. He didn't pass that. So the fact he failed the 2 tests with the gangs, and now he's going upon another third one where I'm on your block and there's war. This is totally somewhere else, and that's what's going to lead Tekashi's career in the wrong direction. That's the danger when you come in with a persona repping a specific gang that has a color attached to it. You're going to alienate yourself. It's not like Snoop Dogg in the Game in the past where they came in Blood and Crip, because these guys came in at a time when the Game was at its height and gang activity for the new age. Now we're dealing with whether it's good for the kids or not. The Game's just introduced a new scenario, and Tekashi has to strategically step into the position to not only keep making his money, but to deal with his harassers. You don't know what extent it's going to go to, being these guys are OGs in the game and they have a lot of pull and respect from fans and fellow artists alike. So it's really somewhere else right now, and there's no control over a situation that you can't foresee what's going to happen in the immediate, especially when it's violence related to it, and violence given up front and words of threats of violence. So where are we at? Where are we at that these grown men are making these threats to a kid because he's trying to play the position of a grown man being in a gang and acting like he's really shooting? Whatever he's rapping about, that's what I'm saying. If you gonna rap about something, you gotta be ready for it. So if I'm gonna rap about something, if someone pull up on my block, that first person has to be the example. You can't talk that hot talk and then they're pulling up on your block, they're pulling up in your area. You know, they're threatening you not to go to the West Coast. They're like getting in the way of your money. Anybody who's about that life, as you're saying, you're claiming you're a blood, they would have handled any issue that be about taking their money. You know, because like I told you, it's elsewhere now. Now they're playing with your money, they're playing with your prestige, they're playing with your CEO, showing up in NY, just basically doing everything that they know you won't combat. So that's where we're at right now. That's the scary thing about what we got going on as far as what these teams are going to be doing. And the craziest part about it is that if I remember correctly, Jay Prince just made sure that Tekashi couldn't get on stage. And I didn't talk about that because Jay Prince Jr. and Jay Prince, that's the South right there. That put together the South. Jay Prince is a legend on the South. His son made sure you didn't get on the stage, and he was about 100 deep. He walked through the streets 100 deep. So that's telling me off the rip that no one's really feeling what Tekashi's bringing, but the kids quoting after him, saying after him. So is this where you're saying the game's point is? Is this where we're saying the game has a valid point? Also being that when he came into the game, no one challenged his status as a gang member. Tekashi is the only one we seen challenge up front without any question about his gang activity. Not saying it's not rightfully so, but is it because his rainbow hair? Is it because his appearance, his age, or what? Or what he's saying in the song, they don't believe it. It's many different angles we could take a look at it, but at the end of the day, him protecting his name is gonna now fall down to him handling his situation with these guys. If he makes peace, that's good. But if it does go somewhere else, that's gonna decide your future. You know what I mean? You can't be in a position where you're getting your cake and you're eating it too with OGs in the game who want recognition when youngsters are building their recognition of what a blood is or what gangs are off of who you are. So Tekashi has a lot weighing on his career. There's a lot weighing on his back. And it's honestly going to make or break him, because if these guys catch you on tape and they're like beating you up or violating you, if you get violated in any way, shape, or form by these guys on any video or anything, it is going to vastly diminish your worth. Vastly. I mean, almost cut you in half. Because the angle you took at going to the West, the angle you took at staying on the New York, telling them they can't come to New York, like you're on the West Coast and they're telling you can't come to Los Angeles, it's different. Violence is normal over there. They're shooting out all the time. So I don't really get in New York where guns aren't even allowed and people get bagged all the time. I know people from New York, they get bagged all the time. For you to not be in that position and talk about what you talk, it really doesn't look good, especially being, we know Bobby Shmurda actually did what he did because he got caught doing what he's doing. But all you're doing is touring and rapping the same thing over and over. It's somewhere else right now. And that's what I'm saying. That's the dangers of thinking that you could be a celebrity and that oversteps all boundaries and you're brand new in the game. You're not even in the game long enough to beef with the game or beef with a YG. It's all off a hype. And if this is a marketing scheme, a promo scheme, that's fine. But other than this is a chess game between blood gang members to see who is recognized as the top blood and is the next image and viewpoint and mentality for the future. It's all a dance around who's the king blood. That's what it is. That's what it is. The moment Game got on and said that, he opened himself up to the fear of what this man would become. Now you got YG's gangsters over there walking around because Tekashi in response said no one could come to NY. It's just a bunch of conflict. And now they're in NY, he doesn't know who they know, and they don't know who he knows, which most likely is going to lead to the loss of life amongst these people quarreling. And that's my thing with the gang mentality. It's only about destruction. If you're not in the mentality of bringing life, it's no type of life to live in the first place. Life is the most precious, valuable thing that's taken for granted. And you're telling me that these MCs not making music are ready to throw it all away to prove who a king blood is or to prove who is really a blood. That's why I told you it doesn't matter who the fake or real blood is anymore. Now it's about preservation of careers, preservation of life, and preservation of gangster. It's preservation of who's about everything they spoke about. And that's the dangerous, Tekashi, when you're a youngin' stepping into the game, talking that hot shit. And if you ain't ready to buck, it's best you don't talk at all, because I could tell you, these guys been in the game a while. If anything was fake about their card, or if anything was happening and they're on the West Coast, sadly, it would have been pulled already. They would have been exposed, and they wouldn't have been able to still be saying on blood, on this, on that. So you have to assume you're messing with real gangsters. That's what the bad part for you is. So now we got to see what temperature you're on, what time you're on. Are you ready to buck when all the heat's on you? Because now the heat's on you, and they're hopping in your city. You gotta be careful what you wish for. All rights reserved.